how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So NOCEBO, I watched it the other day and I absolutely loved it.
Good.
It's coming out Friday. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's cool. It's weird because I'm in Ireland, so it's not coming out here. It's coming out in the US, so
Oh,
I won't get to walk by a theater and say, "Oh, there's the poster." Um, but it's cool. Yeah, it's exciting. And actually, it's interesting with this film. It's coming out in different, like it came out, I think it's coming out in Thailand tomorrow, and it's coming out in the US on Friday, and then it's coming out in the UK and Ireland at the beginning of December, and then it's coming out in other parts of the world in like February. And so it'll be you know, an interesting release, I hope.
well, that's cool. You get to keep the hype going for a little while.
Yeah.
So in your director's statement, you mentioned that this is the first Irish-Filipino co-production.
Cool.
Can you just explain how that came to be, that
How
collaboration?
that came about.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the project started with an interest. Garrett and I, Garrett Shanley, the screenwriter, started with this interest in placebos and nocebos, really, and how they're related to shamanism and paganism, and how in the past there was these kind of powerful women in Ireland. There was these like wise women who were kind of like high priestesses who were revered in society, and they could cure people with plants. And but they also had an understanding of the mind-body connection, so they could make you feel better by telling you certain things, and then you walk away feeling better, which is basically a placebo. But placebos in modern kind of consumer culture don't really have a place because they can't make money, blah blah blah. So that's kind of our way into it. And then as we were researching, we noticed that that we're thinking of where is shamanism still partaken in a kind of modern society. And the islands of Cebu in the Philippines and Siquijor, neighboring island, which is like dubbed the island of the witches, they have there's a lot of faith healing still there, and the Visayan region in general in the Philippines. So we kind of did a lot of research at home, first of all, reading books and looking at YouTube videos, people talking about stuff. And then we got to a point where we needed to go. We got like a research grant and went to Cebu. We had a local producer there kind of bring us on a recce kind of research trip, and Siquijor as well. We met witch doctors and shamans and practitioners of Kulan, which is like the black magic, and tribal chiefs of the Ati and Bajau tribe as well, who told us the stories and the folklore, which was weirdly related to Irish folklore. There was a lot of kind of weird crossovers, which was really interesting. And then we could kind of see this thread that was forming between shamanism and being pushed away by the arrival of Christianity, then the colonialism and how that's connected them with capitalism and a kind of consumerist society that we now live in, and how neo-colonialism, which is essentially brands and corporations exploiting people in poor countries. And that happens now in the Philippines by the Western world, and other parts of Southeast Asia and India. So we could see a thread there, and I pitched the project at Macau in China to try and find producers from the Philippines to partner up with. And we met Brad and Bianca there from Epic Media, and Patty. And they came on board to partner with us, and the Film Development Council of the Philippines and Screen Ireland, and to finance it. And yeah, that's how it came about. It's a bit of kind of a random journey, but we just pursued it until we got to the end, really. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It kind of seems like it was a very natural progression that just made sense.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Yeah. And it was cool adventure, and kind of cultural collaboration between us. And we had like a writer from Cebu joined our team as well to work with Garrett to help all of the scenes that are set there, and even had like a shaman from the Philippines be a kind of sounding board for the script. And yeah, it was cool.
Nice, nice. Um, what was it like working with the cast to bring all of this folklore to life?
Great. I mean, Ava has an interest in the occult, but she's also kind of a human rights activist in her own right. So all of, like, when she read the script, she immediately warmed to it. Like, she really liked the characters, well, even though her character's pretty nasty, but she liked the themes that we were exploring in the film. And she came on board first, and then Mark had seen my previous film, Vivarium, and we'd actually met about 9 months before that. He had seen my film, and we wanted to have a chat, so we just had a general chat. We just met, and we got on very well. So I was thinking about him then in the back of my mind to play Felix, and so at the right time we were able to offer it to him, and he really liked it and came on. And then casting for Diana was probably the trickiest, because we needed somebody from Cebu who could speak Cebuano and kind of understand the which is like the local dialect. But Brad and Bianca, and also Ara, actually the writer, had worked with Chai before and recommended her along with a bunch of other actors we saw, and she just totally nailed it in the audition. And she came on, and then we tried to find Billy, who would look like the offspring of Mark and Eva. So but she's got these lovely big blue eyes, and she was great. So yeah, there was great working with them. They're all top of their game, very professional, amazing commitment. So yeah, it's a great experience.
That's awesome. The visuals were really, like, they were like really stunning but gross at the same time. All of this, I tried to find a better way to say that. But what inspired all of that? Was that a nice mixture of the folklore, or was it other things on top of that?
It was probably the folklore. Yeah, like, we're told these stories, it's told the story of the Ongo bird transferal, and also of the communicating with the dead via leaving ash outside a door and closing the door, and then talking to the dead, and then you can see their footprints in the ash. I thought that was a very kind of interesting visual thing that we could incorporate into the film. But really, it's starting with those images that we were told by people as stories, and then you're kind of imagining what that would look like, and then working with had a brilliant SFX designer, Connor O'Sullivan from the UK, who came over to do like the practical effects of the tick and the bird puppet and all of those elements. They kind of knew we wanted to keep it all as realistic as possible, as in like shoot in camera practically as much as possible. So it's a bit of a process getting there, design process, and a lot of back and forth to get to a point where you can actually create those images on camera on the day.
That's awesome. I just got the wrap-up signal. So my final question
Oh,
is, if people want to connect with you, are you on social media?
Yeah, I have Instagram and Twitter. They're both just Lorcan Finnegan, one word. Yeah.
Awesome.